So, congratulations on your Masked Singer run. Although I have to admit, I'm a little horrified you didn't make it to the finale. A little shocked. Were you shocked, or did it bother you? Didn't seem bothered by it, but I think your fans were a bit bothered.
Really? I didn't think I was going to get as far as I did, quite honestly.
Really?
Yeah, no, I didn't. So because, it what I learned, or seems to me, is like it isn't always about how you're singing. It's about how you vibe with the audience. It's about being playful. The audience likes playfulness,
Mm-hmm.
and and also a story. They want a story. I don't have too many sad stories, but they want, you know,
You may not have sad stories, but you got great stories. There's one I really
yeah.
want to ask you about. This is how I figured out it was you, because I really sleuthed the clues. It was the
Uh-huh.
Grammy kitchen story. That's
Uh-huh.
how I figured out, because I Googled that.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember the speech you gave to your mop when you won? Can you say it to me now? Like, thank you, mop. Do you remember it?
No, I just said I was just in awe. I was in disbelief, first of all, because the reason I didn't go is because I didn't think that I was going to win. Quite honestly, I had been nominated a couple of years before, and with Aretha Franklin, and and so, hats off, all hail the queen, So I just didn't think, and so I thought, yeah, I probably won't win anyway. And I just didn't go. And I really regret it to this day, because you should always go, because you never know.
You never know. But,
Never know.
you've
But
obviously had so many great stories and accolades in your career. And I'm your survivor. You talked a lot about in your clue packages about
Mhm,
reinventing yourself after
mhm,
disco fads kind of change.
mhm,
And I'm actually really curious. We're coming up on one of the darkest days in music, the Disco Demolition Night. It's actually the
right.
45th anniversary in July,
Mhm,
at Comiskey Park in Chicago, and a lot of your peers were really hurt by that and had trouble reinventing themselves, or continuing their careers. Were you hurt by that? And if so, how did you overcome the whole disco sucks backlash of 79?
yeah. Well, you know, prior to Don't Leave Me This Way having a hit, I've been outperforming since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have the American Idol or The Voice or any of those. You go out, you work the jobs, you get out what they call paying your dues, which to me is learning your craft. And so, um, even before, I don't know if you ever heard of a television show called the Ed Sullivan Show. I don't know if you ever heard of.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got on the Ed Sullivan Show
Oh, amazing.
without having a hit. You can go on YouTube and see it.
Wow.
They gave me 2 songs on that show, and the reason is because I got a gig as I was out, doing my little shows in the different clubs and so forth, and I was opening for Rodney Dangerfield. And Rodney Dangerfield, when I was working with him, he says, I'm going to be opening up my club pretty soon, and I want you to come in. I want you to be, be the opening act. And I was like, I've not from him, but I've heard different people was saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And of course, you never say, yeah. I said, oh, great, yeah, sure, I'd love that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
left it at that, never thinking. So sure enough, he opened up his club. And the first week, all of these people came in, Ed Sullivan, all these people, and that's how I got on the Ed Sullivan show. So I'm saying all that to say that I kind of had a career
Mm-hmm.
going, working club dates and stuff like that before before I had the hit. Now the hit helped majorly with the career. It puts you on a different level, and you go. But I kind of had a little base set,
Mm.
so that when they did that demolition and burning and setting fire and all this stuff and being angry about the disco, I kind of, you know, went to back doing my club dates and other stuff.
Did they
So
burn your records? Do you know?
I think they burned all disco records. I think mine was probably in there with them too.
Were you worried at the time, or were you just like, I'll just keep going?
Excuse me. Um, I was concerned. Yeah, I mean, you're concerned and you're thinking why, because. But then I kind of said, well, because disco became the name disco became if anyone, if they had a record that was like pss, 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 they can just
Hmm.
do anything, like with the disco ducks and all these kind of songs that came out. But there was some good songs that came out of that era, you know
Absolutely.
and so, but I think it started to get a bad name, and I think that's how people, they became disgusted with it and did that, what they did. But I don't think it was as bad as bad as all that. Plus, look at it, it's here now. It's back.
In my
never
opinion,
Never really went away. Dance music is dance music, whether you call it disco, dance, whatever.
absolutely.
It's still around and relevant.
Absolutely. Well, there's another happier anniversary. I just realized that we're coming up on the 40th anniversary of kind of one of your comeback or reinvention albums, Qualifying Heat. It came out in
Yes.
1984. And I
Yes.
was looking at that album, and it had, contributions from Glenn Ballard, who a lot of people wouldn't probably best know from what he later did with Alanis Morissette, Jimmy
Uh-huh.
Jam, and Terry Lewis. But this is the interesting thing. According to at least Wikipedia, this was the first time Lenny Kravitz, who was known as Romeo Blue at the time and who has a new album coming out soon, like
Uh-huh.
it's like the first time he ever recorded anything was with you. Is this true? Like, do you have memories of this?
Well, I don't know if I was the first. Maybe I may have been the first artist aside from himself that he recorded. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but I know that I'm in his memoir. He put me in. I'm in his book.
Nice.
Yeah, he wrote about it in there. But the thing that amazed me about him was the fact that as a young man, being able to write such lyrics for a woman to sing. You know what I
Mm.
mean? It wasn't a song written from a man's point of view about something. It was specifically a woman's song to me. And I said, how did you write these words? Did you write them? Come just between you and me, Leonard, Romeo, because I didn't call him Lenny, he was Romeo Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And he laughed. He said, yes. And I said, oh my God. It was amazing. Yeah. And he was good to work with as well.
That was 84. So he must have still been a teenager at that
Yeah, he was
time.
pretty young. He was pretty
What was
young.
what was the song that you did that he
It was
contributed?
his song was called "What a Woman Feels."
What was the lyric? Do you know a lyric that stood out to
I
you?
can't off the top of my head, but what it
Hmm.
is, the story is about what how a woman feels about relationships, how she feels, about her man, how she, and that's what I'm
Interesting.
saying. How you
How,
write all these songs?
last question about that. How did he get involved? He wasn't famous yet. He was very young, and he got involved on this record that by a legend with other legends contributing. Like, how did that even come about? Or did you know he was going to be that you were kind of giving him a big break?
I had no idea. I don't know. I liked the song. I went in and recorded the song. I liked it.
This was history and
Yeah,
herstory. Well,
yeah.
I also read another fun fact was "Don't Leave Me This Way," which we're talking about because that's like your signature song.
Mhm.
Wasn't that like intended? Well, obviously you actually weren't a lot of people may not know that you weren't the first person to record it, but you have the definitive version. But wasn't like Diana Ross supposed to record it and then it was given to you instead?
I don't know that part.
Mm,
Suzanne DePass heard the song. Suzanne DePass is the one that signed me to the label. She
nice.
was the head of A&R.
Mm-hmm.
She heard the song by um, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes,
Mm-hmm.
and she wanted me to listen to it. She says, "Listen to this song because I think from a female singing this song is going to make it, special, make it more, interesting." So I listened to it and I liked it, and then they went in and recut it. So I don't know. This is my first time hearing that. That it was
That's what the Wikipedia page says. But
wow.
Wikipedia isn't always right. But it definitely stood out to me. Obviously, other people have recorded it before and
Oh yeah,
since. What did you
yes,
think
yes.
of the Communards version?
Loved it. And you know what? Here's the story. I'm trying to think, what country were we in? Was it, trying to think, it was a Sweden or Switzerland. We were somewhere. I was performing and the communards were performing. and I went to their concert. And the
Oh, wow.
manager, yeah, and the manager knew that I was in the audience, and the manager gave me a microphone. Gave me a mic, so that when Jimmy started singing, he says, I want you to just get up. And I got up and started walking from my sit up to the thing, and he was like, oh.
Is this on YouTube? This I need to see. Someone
Oh no,
I hope
I
someone
don't
film
think
it.
I don't think it's on YouTube. But yeah,
Ah,
that
damn.
happened. That was yeah,
Amazing. Well, that's
yeah.
obviously Jimmy Somerville is a he was in Bronski Beat. He's like
Yeah,
absolutely a queer
and
icon.
we've done it where we've been in the parades. I was in, I think it was in New York or San Francisco. We were both in the same parade, and I
Aw.
did it at one end of the parade, and he did it at another end.
I feel like that's kind of like the battle royale or the smackdown I want to see is the two of
Yeah,
you both singing
don't
your
leave
own
me this.
versions of it
Yeah,
together on the same stage.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well, you have a lot of Pride events coming up this summer. I'm looking at the list here. You got Indianapolis, Oakland, Toronto. I actually think I saw a few years ago you do one in New Orleans. And
Yeah.
like I'm just curious, why is it important for you to give back
To connect.
to that community, to LGBTQ plus community and do all these Pride events year after year? Like, why is that important to you?
It's important to me because I believe that this is the group, this is the LGBTQ community, is the one that started playing my music in the clubs
Mm,
before it got on the radio. As a matter of fact, this is when the DJs were starting to get organized and when the record companies were sending them the songs. Okay, can you play this in your club? Because they realized how important they were in terms of new music getting out. And so, as a result of that, and not only that, let's go back before that. I used to go dance. I would hang out with my hairdresser, my costume designer. These are my friends. We hung out. We went dancing. We would go to the club dancing on every Thursday night. We would go hanging out and dancing and stuff. And so these are my supporters. And so that's how. And of course, most of my friends from that time are gone. I just have maybe two or three that's here now.
mm.
My that I call my support, my who would say to me, "Oh girl, girl, you're gonna get that hit. Don't worry about it, girl. Let's go. We go dancing, but don't worry about that, girl. You got it going. Don't worry about that. It's not, and that building me up. And so that's the community that I feel were responsible for me. And so everything that I can do, that's what I'm doing. I'm more than willing to do. And I'm always out there. And I love June. I love Pride Month because I get to pop around and go to all the different places and see them and renew them and all that. And so, yeah, I look forward to it.
Oh, that's amazing. That
Yeah.
is actually one of the reasons why I kind of brought up that disco sucks backlash is
Yeah.
I do think some of it was rooted in racism actually, and some of it
Yeah.
was just because trends change. But I also do think a lot of it was rooted in homophobia because people consider,
Yeah. Yeah.
the gay
Yeah.
community is what first embraced
As a
disco.
threat, consider as a threat,
So how do you,
so,
oh,
so,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, how do you feel the fact that that music has endured and is the anthem of, and the music you've done, the music your peers, it's endured and it's been embraced by a new community,
By a
including
new
Mass Singer
community, the
people.
Dua Lipa and Beyonce and it's still Rihanna. Everybody's doing it because they know it's good. You know what
Nick,
I mean? And
mhm.
it's a part of it's here to stay. It's a part of the culture. It's a part of, to me, disco and rock and all of that. All of them have their place, and I think they're all have they're all important.
Absolutely. Another clue that I want to make sure I ask you, because you have great stories. One of
Mhm.
the clues that I sort of figured out was you said you'd performed for a president, and you
Mhm.
performed for Barack Obama's Out for Equality ball when he
I
was inaugurated in 2009. I'd love to hear about that experience. That must have been such an honor and
Well,
so
I
much
was vote
fun.
yeah by the Human Rights Organization. They also they had, I'm trying to think, me and Cyndi Lauper and Melissa Etheridge and I'm trying to think who else. That for the nomination, when
Hmm.
he was when Obama was nominated, we were in that city that night for doing a concert for that, and then we were invited for the inauguration. Yeah.
Wow,
So
what an honor. So you're releasing Love Train now, and and
yes,
we're in the middle of another election year, and there's a lot of
yes,
rights on the table. And I know you work with HRC, Human Rights Campaign.
yes, I do.
What's
All
the
the yes, ma'am.
significance of releasing Love Train in
Well,
2024?
well, I wanted to add some new material. I'm trying to pick out things because after a while, it's okay. I've done that, so let me bring up something new, something different. And I thought, and I heard this song, and I thought those lyrics are so relevant to today. And I do believe that love is the ultimate superpower. I believe that with all of my heart. And I believe until people start to feel it in here, with showing empathy and being kind and so on, that nothing is going to happen. Love, that's it. And we have to realize that. And so I try to do it, and I try to do it in material. This will be my song. This will be that song, because I don't go out and lecture people. The only thing I tell people to do at every time is when it's an election year, vote, make sure you're registered, and make sure if you want to see change, you got to be the one to make the change. You got to go out and vote. I do that, but I don't, get on a platform and whatever. I want people to have a good time, but I want to tell them, pay attention to these lyrics, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you going to be performing at the Pride
Yes.
events that you're doing?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Is there anything else you're doing besides the Pride events in June? Is there anything, like I said, it's an election year and you do a lot of advocacy. Like, are there any other events you're performing at? Like, uh, I don't know, like rallies or initiatives like that?
You know what? I tell them, show me just a little bit right now. Show me just, show me today. I did the okay.
Hmm.
Yesterday was the lip, the unmasking. Today I'm doing the, and then I'm gonna get into what my thing is. I gotta think about the songs, the wardrobe, and where we're gonna be and all that. Because I'm sure there are gonna be other things that's gonna be besides. Well, because I have June and July and August.
Oh wow. Well, you're always trying new things. Like I said,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
the research, looking at the Wikipedia. I know that, but like, I mean, you've duetted with Morrissey, you've done The Masked
Yes.
Singer, you've worked with Lenny Kravitz very early in his career. And like, it doesn't seem like you have any plans to retire anytime soon. You got a full calendar for this year and beyond. There are people, your peers, that probably aren't as busy as you or don't embrace opportunities, don't say yes when The Masked Singer calls, etc. Like, what is it that keeps you going? It seems like you're not, the train is still running and the love train's still going.
I still love it. I still love performing, and I haven't done it to the point where I'm tired of it. I'm not. I still love it, and I still try to find new ways and new things like doing the Masked Singer. That's totally different. But I wanted to challenge myself, with doing it. Because as you get older, you can get set in your ways and you can say, nah, nah, nope, don't do that. Nope, don't do that. Nope, nope, don't do that. Don't do that. And don't do that. Or pretty soon, you're going to be, you don't do, then you're going to be in a little box like this, right? And I still like it. I still enjoy meeting people. I still enjoy doing new things, talking to you, having this opportunity. You don't, I'm 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 happy about the whole thing.
As am I. I've enjoyed speaking to you as well. I know I need to let you go, but the last question I have is Nick Cannon said something when you were being unmasked that you went on, one of the reasons at least that you went on The Masked Singer was to introduce yourself to a new audience or a new generation. And you've done that over and over your career. We're
Yeah.
talking about the album you did in 84 that was different. Like, have you felt that yet? Have you already felt that like younger people who either saw you last night or figure it out already have been discovering you through The Masked Singer?
Well, through people through the social media, Although I don't go on it a lot, but they're sending me all the positive things that people are saying. And these are young, young people, so I think it is. Plus the audience, I could see even though it's just like this, I could see the audience out there, and they're quite young.
Well, congratulations on your run. I mean, I know, like I said, I kind of feel that you should have gone to the finale, but here are some other people that didn't get to the finale or didn't get to the top two. Gladys Knight, Gloria Gaynor, Shaka Khan, Dionne Warwick, En Vogue, legends all. So like sometimes maybe not winning is kind of an honor in itself. I mean, you're in good company with Patti LaBelle, all the divas. So
Exactly.
you had a very good run. Next time you get nominated for a Grammy, please go. Bring
Trust
them
and
up.
believe. I will be there.
Awesome. It was lovely speaking with you.
Thank you. And I love your pink.
Thank you. I love the
Your,
purple. Like I
your
said, it's almost
pinkness.
your purpleness.
Yes.
It's royalty. I'm speaking the, pop royalty, and you
There
got
you
the royal
go.
color. So it was meant to be. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. You have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
Thank you. You too.